Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tokyo. We are in this episode going to be talking to you about itineraries, traveling around Japan, a lot of things that are going to help you with your trip in the future. And we have a call-in show. So right now we have, I don't know, a growing number of people populating the call-in on our Discord server. So please, if you're watching live, definitely call in. In particular, I'm looking for people that are in Japan right now, people that are or just came back from traveling in Japan. Leo, show your bus. This is very relevant. Look at this bus. This is the Hato bus. This is one of the tour buses that leaves from Tokyo Station on the Marunouchi side. Leo and I just went to the post office to deliver some more postcards there, and guess what? They were full. The Hato buses were completely full up. We were really shocked by that, and Leo was waving at all of the tourists. You want to say hello to everybody? Hello. You look, hello. Ah! How cute is that? Leo won't be taking any questions this time, but I will. And he'll be off of this live stream in about 30 seconds. All right, Kanai.
Me?
Yeah, Leo's finished.
Are you finished?
Yeah. Can I just cut her hair? All right. Yeah. If you just returned from Japan or you are in Japan right now, I'd love to hear from you. Go into the Discord server and check out the fireside chat. Raise your hand or in the fireside text. Let us know that you're in Japan right now, and we'd like to ask you to share some of your travel itinerary, some of your trip with us to get a better understanding of what's happening right now on the ground around Japan. Because I think this kind of real-time information is invaluable. Great. I just got back from Shodoshima, so we're waiting for some people to raise their hands in the audience here. I just got back from Shodoshima, which is an island between Shikoku and Honshu Island, between Okayama and Takamatsu City, and it was incredible. And the flights were pretty full for domestic flying. When I came on the Shinkansen back from Okayama City, the Shinkansen was packed. And that's something I wasn't really used to. This is the Nozomi. It wasn't just tourists. It's actually for, the domestic travel is 100% return. There's now travel incentives for people who live in Japan to get up to, I think it was 10,000 yen a day, but it also depends on the region and where you're a resident. And you can get massive travel discounts. In fact, Kanai and I just booked a hotel in another prefecture in December for an episode I'm filming for the main channel. I'm bringing my family with me, and they offered a 10,000 yen discount if we had 3 vaccination shots. So we ended up saving 20,000 yen off of the price of the hotel, which was incredible because it was quite a pricey hotel. It's the only hotel on this particular island. I can't tell you more than that. I think some of you might know, but it was really interesting to see how they incentivized getting 3 shots. Local government is doing this, part of the Go To Travel campaign, I believe. Domestic travel is really back, and it's exciting. And if you are visiting Japan, expect it to be more crowded than it was last year, which is a good thing, I suppose. But it's not as crowded as it was in 2019, not even close. And that's a good thing if you're traveling in Japan this autumn and winter, I believe. It's going to be about the same. I know flights are very pricey still coming into Japan based on supply and demand. A lot of airlines have not opened up the routes yet. So the demand for those particular flights is high, so they raise the prices because, they're a business. Why wouldn't they do that? It's not subsidized by the government to get people to come to Japan. They're going to come to Japan anyways, so it would be crazy to do that. So let's take some questions here. We have some hands risen. UFO Bob, Peso, do we have anybody who is ready to bring up here?
Yeah, King Wong is up there.
King!
Up there.
Awesome. And I know King is making a trip here to Japan pretty soon. How you doing, King? Yeah, King is based in Singapore, and I believe he's...
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm actually right now in Japan.
What? Oh, wow. That was fast.
Yeah, I've already been in Japan for like good, I think 5 days now.
Whoa. And you've been enjoying the weather?
Yeah, the weather is good. And then I just left Tokyo yesterday to now I'm in Kawaguchiko.
Oh, okay. Yeah, near Mount Fuji.
Yep. And today, yeah, we are able to see Mount Fuji and everything is good. Everything is good.
Tell us you're looking at Mount Fuji right now.
Yep, I'm looking at Mount Fuji right now while talking to you guys.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It but on really, are you? Really?
Yes, I am,
Oh,
really.
okay. I thought you were just saying that because I asked it. Josh Schneider, thank you for the drink, buddy. So those first 5 days, what was it like coming into Japan 5 days ago, King?
Um, Actually, the entry process is very fast. I mean, you have all the and I still have the My SOS app, and then so that actually help a lot. And I do realize there is a lot of tourists in Tokyo, and a lot of, I mean, it's just different. It's a lot more cashless payment, and then things are just cheaper right now due to the exchange rate. So I'm really quite enjoying it right now.
Yeah, I think outside of the city, it's still quite peaceful, not as crowded. Although the domestic tourists are a lot more enforced now because of the incentives to travel. But that's really great. So, what is your itinerary for this trip? You spent the first 5 days here in Tokyo, and now you're in Kawaguchiko. What are you going to be doing on this trip?
After Kawaguchiko, I'll be staying Kawaguchiko for the next 3 days. Then I will be heading to Kyoto for the next month.
Month?
Then I will be traveling throughout Fukui, Toyama, Kanazawa, Nagano, Yamagata, Ginzan Onsen, Aizu Wakamatsu, then come down all the way back to Tokyo to celebrate the New Year.
Wow, so you're going to be here for a few months. I'm really happy to hear that you're hitting Aizu Wakamatsu and seeing the Sea of Japan side. That's pretty cool. What made you want to go on this side of Japan instead of sticking to, besides the fact that you've been here before?
I'm actually hunting for pictures, you see.
Oh,
I'm going to all these places for like maybe 1 or 2 pictures
right.
and
So,
then staying there for 2 to 3 days just for their pictures.
I see. So Tokyo, and you're in Kawaguchiko, which is near Mount Fuji, and then you're heading over to the Sea of Japan's to Kyoto for a while, then heading up the coast of the Sea of Japan, hitting Kanazawa, Toyama, and then up into Fukushima. That's pretty amazing. And the autumn foliage
Yeah.
must be absolutely perfect right now. What's that
Now,
like?
Kawaguchiko is at this peak right now. So everything looks cool. And then yesterday, there's a lot of domestic tourists actually at the Maple Corridor.
Ah, yeah, the Maple Corridor. Here's Kawaguchiko right here. This is the lake, and you're probably near the Fuji View Hotel and that side of the city, or on the other side near Oishi Park. Are you sure you know that? By the bridge, I guess you have to. Everybody goes over the Kawaguchi Bridge here to get around. But it's a pretty stunning. It's a pretty stunning view, no matter where you are. I didn't pick a very good street view here. Great. And what's your fascination? Why are you heading?
I'm staying right opposite I think the Music Museum or something.
Oh, okay. The Music Museum. All right. Got it. And I'm gonna look here. I think from this bridge you can see here. This is Kawaguchiko, and there's Mount Fuji in the clouds right there. So that's not a live picture, but this is the bridge that crosses Kawaguchiko. Just gives you an idea of where King is right now. And just imagine that while I'm panning around, all these leaves are on fire, like with color. It's just such a beautiful place, and this lake is one of the most iconic places to see Mount Fuji. Yeah, one of the most iconic places.
どうした？
All right, cool. What made you, King? What made you want to go to Aizu
何
Wakamatsu?
が欲しい？何？
King, what made you want to go to Aizu Wakamatsu?
よいしょ。
It's actually one
どれ
picture
どれ？
that across, I think the train line going across a bridge, a snowy bridge. It's a green train line going across a beach.
Oh, okay.
あれ？なんで？
And
Yeah,
Aizu,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
the
going there just to take that picture.
I can't remember the name of that train line, and I was just there not too long ago. I did a live stream of it. Is that what you're talking about? That the train that goes from Aizu Wakamatsu towards Niigata. All right. Good night, Leo.
Yeah, I think that's one of that's the train line actually, but there's a part whereby it crosses a bridge, and then I mean it looked magical during winter.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite stops. I actually drove to that spot, which is a train otaku's like paradise, and you can watch that train cross. That train leaves from Aizu Wakamatsu, and let me just get you the name of this train line here. Tadami, the Tadami-sen, Tadami line.
Yes, correct. That's the Tadami line.
Right, and it crosses the bridge. Right here. Yeah, it's in the. Here's the spot. It crosses the bridge right here, and you can see. This is the point where I drove the cart, and I could take pictures from here. I actually got the drone up and got it crossing here in the middle of winter. It's just a beautiful place. There's the shot that King is talking about here. You can see right there.
Yes, that's exactly the spot I'm talking about.
All right, bye-bye, Leo. Yeah. I thought he'd be asleep by now, but how could we tell him to go away? Take Godzilla. All right, well, is there anything you want to share with anybody, King, about Itinerary? This is not your first time to Japan. Where should people go for their second time after they've seen Kyoto and Hiroshima and Himeji Castle? What's the one place that you'd recommend people that they shouldn't miss out on? That's a hard question.
Visit Toyama.
Toyama. Yeah.
Yes, I mean you have like very good seafood. You have some of the best scenery over there, and the people are nice over there.
I would agree. I would have to
Like
agree
really
with you.
nice.
I'd have to agree with you. If you don't know where Toyama is here on the map, I can bring it up. There's Kanazawa. That's Ishikawa Prefecture right here. Right next to Kanazawa is Toyama Prefecture. Actually, it's this one right here. And this is Ishikawa Prefecture. Toyama is just such a beautiful place. It's got the mountains. It really does look like Switzerland, I thought. And the Shinkansen line, there's a Shinkansen that leaves from Tokyo, goes straight through Toyama to get to Kanazawa. And you can find a lot of ryokan, a lot of onsen, a lot of places to stay. Even if you're not a skier, it just looks so beautiful in the winter. Taking that Shinkansen through here. Oh man! And there's the Kurobe, and the Kurobe Dam is up here. The Tateyama Pass, where the snow walls are like 20 meters high, and you see these miniature. They look like miniature buses going past these snow walls. It is one of the most amazing sights. That doesn't open up until April though. I have a live stream there on the Only in Japan Go on this particular channel. But yeah, Toyama, good suggestion, King. Thanks for calling, and hopefully I get a chance to catch up with you when you're back here in Tokyo.
Sure thing, John.
All right, that was great. Yeah, if you'd like to share your travel itinerary, I would love to hear it, especially if you're in Japan or you just got back. I want to know a little bit more about that because I think that sharing the information is what these live streams are about. One of the places that I think that people neglect to go to, believe it or not, and I'm almost hesitant to suggest it, is Takayama in Gifu Prefecture. In fact, Gifu Prefecture is stacked, and Nagoya region, this is the center of Japan, is a place that not a lot of people go there, and I'm not sure why. I guess it doesn't have the same attraction as Tokyo and Osaka. and Kyoto, which is right here near Osaka. And the Nagoya region is stacked right now. They have the new Lego museum. They have this new Ghibli museum that just opened up. And just to the north of it, I want to show you a couple of places that you probably want to hit that's connected to a trip to Nagoya, and why Nagoya is a decent hub. Inuyama is one of them. Inuyama has a castle. It's a castle. It's a castle town. It's also a street food paradise. Let's see if I zoom out here. Here's the castle. It really is an incredible place to stay and spend some time here. Around Inuyama, and there's a road with a ton of street food that I found that's should be, maybe I'll make an episode there. I was thinking of not that far away from Inuyama, is up here is Seki City, which is known for its hamono or knife sword making, and there's a sword making museum that is amazing. Let's see if I can find it here on the map. There's also the temple. This temple, I believe, is where they have sword making. They used to make swords at the temple, and you could see events taking place there. Seki is a pretty cool place, especially if the Hamono Festival or the Knife Festival is taking place. You don't want to miss that one. I think it's coming up pretty good. But this is the one place. I don't know if I introduced this already. Mino City. Put this on your map here. Mino City is a place that is an old warehouse town, and when you walk the streets of Mino, it really does feel like you are in the past. This is the kind of place that you're looking for. All right. We're all kind of, when you travel around Japan, everybody's looking for that place where time has stood still, that you don't feel like, you're in a touristy area or a theme park. This place, it looks like a theme park, but it's not. I just loved walking around the streets here. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures. Here's what I'm talking about. This is in Gifu. It's just an old street. All these buildings are converted into shops and cafes and restaurants. It's a pretty good alternative to places like Kyoto, places that where you're looking for the history. Mino's got that here. Mino's got a lot of it, and these buildings are very well preserved. The festivals are very vibrant. I'm just showing you images from the Google Maps here. And at night, often they'll light up the streets. This might be, I think, before the pandemic hit, just to give you an idea. The city it's pretty it's pretty easy to navigate. There's a few really good ryokan or Japanese traditional inns to stay in Mino. It's pretty reasonably priced. Kanai and I spent one night here a couple of years ago. Check this out. I think this is the back of one of the ryokan that you could stay at. It's a super friendly place. There is stuff to do. There's like bicycling and hiking, but you get a pretty interesting Japanese experience that's well off of the tourist path for most casual tourists. This is probably someplace you'd want to stay for your second trip. And it's just such a cute and quiet, I don't know if it's quiet. It's pretty quiet place to stay. And the architecture, of course, you can take a look at it right here, is that's what a lot of people are looking for. Over the years, it's renovated. It's got a lot more English speakers now. They're used to tourists. And in fact, here's one of the shop fronts. They are very, very friendly, which is a very good contrast to Kyoto that is just too used to tourists, I think, and maybe even take it for granted. When you go to a place like Mino, you know that they really are appreciative that you came here, because again, I think it is off of the beaten path. Look at that. That's a really nice place. So that's one of the places I think that's on that you should put on your itinerary. And if you don't go a little bit further from here, you'll see, hold on a second, Gujo Hachiman area. This has to be on your, I don't know why Gifu is not on more people's itinerary. I gotta be honest with you. This is like the water town, I believe. It's got these three bodies of water going through it. And it, again, has that field of the old world. Let me pull up some Google images here. Yeah. So you could spend a couple of, one night here, one night in Mino, and you get like such a beautiful vibe. and a really great contrast to Kyoto. It's smaller in scale. It's friendlier. It's easier to navigate, and you get to know it better than you would. And the festivals are very vibrant if you're lucky enough to be there at that time. And the dogs dress up too. So, wow, if you're lucky enough to find these two, they're probably resident dogs. The water is so crystal clear. In the autumn, it's beautiful. You have a lot of dining options. They're on the river there. They're used to tourists as well. Again, like not really on a lot of people's itinerary, and that's such a shame. So you have the castle of Inuyama. So for this episode, I like to make a suggestion. You have the castle of Inuyama. You could spend the night there, spend a night in Nagoya. You could go inland to take another night in Mino City. Maybe do some hiking. The food there was incredible. But the restaurants do close early, so if your ryokan offers dinner, take them up on that offer. There's probably not a better place to take dinner than at your traditional Japanese inn. Usually you get some fantastic kaiseki ryori worth every yen. Then you continue up the train line and go up to the Hachiman hold on a second, Gujo Hachiman area. I know I'm gonna make a mistake. I got so many things in my brain right now. Yeah, it's all on the same train line too, which makes it super convenient. Here's the train station. It's really, really cozy little town. That's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of the places that you're looking for, that you're not sure where to go. I put that on your map of places to stay, especially if you've already been to Kyoto. If you've already been to these places, you got to spread yourself out. Shikoku, Kyushu, Hokkaido are totally different islands. Again, it's still Japan, but I think it's a really slightly different culture in these places. UFO Bob, do we have anybody next that wants to come up and talk?
Well, sadly, no. We have a lot of time tonight. Hey, wait a minute. We got somebody. Hang on. Now they're
All
jumping.
right.
They're showing me that I'm wrong. Hang on.
I'm just continuing talking as we wait for somebody. If you can, in the fireside chat, give us a heads up on what you want to talk about so we can keep it relevant to travel itineraries and hotels. Hey, we have here Angwarth. Welcome aboard.
Hey, John. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon in your time. All right. My family and I are visiting Japan this December for 2 weeks. Been there several times already. Just want to ask for your suggestions about any places, like food places, or outside of the big tourist spots there that we have already heard about, but like hole in the wall places where it would be great to have fun. Eat with the children and just have a great time.
Yeah, that's a really hard question because there's so many places, even here in Tokyo. I took Irvin, who is a viewer here, to one of my favorite katsudon restaurants, which is a hole in the wall, like it's hidden inside of Ginza. Tourists almost never find this place, and you can find places like that even in Tokyo. So that's hard. My suggestion, and this is what really makes it hard, do you intend to drive at all in Japan?
No, we're going to have fun using the subway system.
Okay, well, in that case, yeah. I think if you're driving in the Japan and going to the countrysides, you're going to find a wealth of amazingness in the Michi no Eki system, which are roadhouses. I guess you could translate that, but it's Michi no Eki in Japanese, Michi being road and Eki being station, like road stations. Inside of these places, you have like all local restaurants. There's no McDonald's or Starbucks in these places. It's all locals that do this. And they have local produce, and they usually have a couple of restaurants in there that are amazing eats. In fact, you don't even have to go to even if you're just driving on the highway system, all of the service areas, the SAs, there's two stops on the highways. This service area is called SA, and parking areas, which are PA on the maps. The SAs or service areas always have restaurants, and almost always they have some sort of food challenge or regional dish that's famous in the city, but you don't have to go all the way into the city to do that. You can eat it off of the highway, which is pretty incredible. In terms of places, like where in particular are you thinking? Because my gosh, I know a lot of city hole in the wall places in the cities. If you're just using subways, I guess.
I could just imagine. Yeah, we're staying at the Ginza area and doing a bit of research. Saw a couple of places already from fellow YouTubers there, and some of your recommendations from previous videos.
Right.
I don't know. Just thinking really far. I mean, where can we go? You know, not necessarily off the beaten path or hole in the walls.
Well, my first suggestion would be if you're in the Ginza area, just try walking down Ginza Corridor. This is a place that's along the. Almost everybody really enjoys the experience of walking along the Yamanote line, especially in the evening. If you're coming in December, it gets dark around 4:30, so like the sun starts setting around that time. So the ambiance is incredible. Walking around there, and I'm not sure where you're from, but the jet lag might be setting in around that time too if you're coming from North America. So that Ginza corridor is someplace you should probably check out. There's a lot of I think they're more family friendly. There's one place that is decked out. I don't know if it's still in business. That's the thing. There's one place that's all decked out like it's the Edo period. I believe it's like it might be a tofu restaurant, but they have a ton of other stuff, and it was super family friendly. They give you these little rooms that look like you're going back in the time to another era. Usually there's like a garden attachments, and there's this red bridge with this fake canal that you can walk over it. Let me see if I can find the name of this place for you. I'd highly recommend going here. Here's Ginza.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, let me see if I can show it. So here's Ginza right here, Ginza Station, Yonchome. This is the big intersection. Chuo Avenue goes by right here. That's Higashi Ginza over here, and this is the Yamanote line, Yurakucho. So from Ginza Yonchome, Ginza corridor is just this way. This is where there's a old, I think it's an elementary school, where they made the kids dress up in Armani suits. It was in the news quite a bit. Like, what? I guess they get a lot of money here. This corridor goes all along the tracks. It's really close to Ginza Yonchome. And if we look at the restaurants here, let me see. I think I can pick it out if I see the name of the restaurant. You can see it's just loaded with restaurants, you see here? Tons and tons of restaurants. And they're all really good dining options.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of them might... See, I'm just worried if any of them have gone out of business here. I believe... On a second. And Aiken, thank you so much. I'm going to get to some of the questions here. I believe it was this one right here. Tofuro. Let's see if I can pick up yeah, this one here. I believe it's like a tofu restaurant in theory, but they serve just about everything in there. They have like a bridge inside there. It looks like you're inside of the Edo period. Everybody that has ever come to visit me, and I'm in the Ginza area, I'll take them here. Just because I'm almost positive they're going to have a pretty interesting experience for food. The fish is extraordinary. You have soba, udon, also like all sorts of Japanese cuisine in here. Sometimes you'll get these rooms that are really nice to sit in. And if you make a reservation in advance, just call in advance. They can usually set you up in a really nice place. And the experience, I think, is second to none. Here's the corridor walking down the restaurant. You can see it's pretty cool inside there. And that's the external part of the shop. So I think it's a nice restaurant to go in there. It's called Tofuro, Ginza Corridor shop. The other place, there's a Aomori, was it Aomori? I think it was. No, hold on. Akita. There is an Akita dining nearby. And this, I have to recommend this to everybody. I think I did a live stream here. This is really close to Ginza. Again, here's the Ginza Yonchome, the main intersection. Here's the Yamanote line. Here's Shimbashi Station. And here's the Akita dining, Namahage Ginza. Akita dining, Namahage Ginza. You know why this place is awesome? It's because the Namahage are there. You get to meet these ogre, monster, scary people, and they will scare the crap out of your kids. And that's going to be great. They scared the crap out of me. This is what they look like. They actually roam inside the restaurant as you're eating, and you're getting authentic food from Akita. Like, you don't have to travel to Akita to get really good. Well, they got really good sake, but they have really good Japanese cuisine. And it's tourist friendly, which I like. They have English menus. The staff usually can speak English. This is kiritampo, which is a regional dish from Akita. It's like these amazing rice dumplings in a soup. Usually I think you can get it with pork or with beef. It's just so good. The local chicken is outstanding there. So you have some chicken dishes which will blow you away. The inside of the restaurant is very Japanese style. So I cannot recommend this enough as an experience for people to come and then get to know Akita Prefecture a little bit. But they have shows in the evening where the Namahage come out and they start coming to your table, and it's real immersive in the culture. So that's kind of a hidden gem in the Ginza dining region, and it's quite affordable too. I don't think these are not 5-star restaurants where you have to dress up. They're very friendly in that sense, because Ginza can be a pretty luxurious restaurant area. The sky's the limit for dining in there. Thanks for asking that question. Hope that's helpful to you. Shane Saw is here. How you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, John. Good afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
actually visiting Japan next month for about 2 weeks. So far, I've got 2 hotels in Tokyo. I'm still considering venturing out, but I'm staying in Asakusa and Shinjuku. And I'm just a solo traveler, but I have a friend who's Japanese from high school, and he'll be over there for the entire month.
Wow. So most of your itinerary is just here in Tokyo?
Yeah, I don't have anything explicitly planned out because I kind of want to go more with the flow, but I have considered going out to Hakone for day trips closer to Tokyo.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How about staying in a Japanese ryokan? Is that something that was interesting to you?
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to get my friend because I don't want to really go to ryokan alone, but yeah.
It's good to go in with another person, because it can be kind of a lonely experience if you're traveling alone. The ryokan is the attraction, and to I don't know, to have that alone, I guess, it can be a good experience if you're there to take pictures and stuff, but you really want to have a friend to eat dinner with. But I've traveled to ryokan alone, and this is a question I've gotten recently. I find that you might be invited to other people's tables, and you can meet people in the bath that will talk to you, and if they can speak English, if you can't speak Japanese, will be very friendly, because they're also on vacation. And I've always been invited if I was alone, especially if they had kids, because they wanted to speak a little bit of English or something, or if the kids are learning English, they were very friendly to solo travelers. That was pre-pandemic times, though. So I don't want to discourage you, because some ryokan might not take solo travelers, but a lot of them will have smaller rooms that are available for solo travelers. So you just have to ask. Not all of them will, though. That's really interesting. So Hakone is on your list. Apart from Tokyo and Hakone, is there a place that, if you had more time further out, that you'd be interested in visiting?
Not specifically. I just know I'll probably end up coming back to Japan in the future, so there's so much to do in Tokyo is kind of my mindset.
Yeah, you could probably spend, I don't know, years here, because I live here. There's just literally an endless amount of stuff. And the thing with Tokyo, and my love-hate relationship with the city, is that after 2 or 3 years, places that you loved probably changed enough that keep it pretty fresh, which is a sad thing, but also a part of the life here in the city. Businesses usually don't stick around for more than 5 years. There's a constant turnover, especially in the restaurant business. So places that you loved, they will reinvent themselves. Just like the vending machines changing the drinks every season, you have shops coming in and leaving. Even if they are successful, people just have varying degrees of what they want to do, what is success, and what they want to do with their lives, and that makes it pretty exciting too. There's no end to the adventures that you can have inside the city of Tokyo. Thanks so much for calling in and sharing that. We'll take one more question from anybody. Aiken, I want to say thank you so much. I'll get in touch with you on Patreon and see if we can get. Aiken has created this holder for this particular gimbal, and I'm pretty excited to try that out. Near the NHK Hall, the Zelkova Road. I'm after secondhand plates, bowls, etc. If you're looking for secondhand stuff, there's a lot of flea markets that take place. My go-to website, because I write for them, is tokyocheapo.com. I know the owner. We used to work together before he started tokyocheapo.com. He's a good guy. I think they're both called Greg, but Greg Lane is one of the creator of the website, and that has been, it's not about just cheap stuff. They actually have really good guides, and we've been putting it together for about 10 years now. They have guide books that they sell on Amazon, digital stuff. So I can't promote them enough because I know that they're honest and good people there because I've worked with them. So that's why I can recommend them. I don't know the other people. They're not pushy about it either, which is what I like. And all this stuff, all the information is free. The festival schedules that they put on the website is great. And they have pictures and lay it out for you how to get there. So if you're looking for secondhand stuff and flea market stuff, they have it. All that information is there because it is Tokyo Cheapo, meaning it is budget stuff. We have Corona in the house. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hi. I'm John as well, actually.
Hello, John.
And planning a 3-week trip in March, actually. It's my 3rd time in Japan, well, technically 4th. But one of the things I'm doing slightly different, first also doing a solo travel, and I'm going to Gunma. I'm planning to rent a car there for about it's probably about 2 or 3 days there. And I noticed that it happened to be the vernal equinox day in Japan, Shinbun no Hi.
Ah.
So I was like, I'm not sure what's actually open or what's closed or open during that time, if I can even rent a car on that day or not.
You can rent a car. I don't think there's a problem. There's so many rental agencies available. I always use Toyota Rent-A-Car. I don't know if they're the best or they might be the most expensive. I don't know. I have a business card with them, so I get a little bit of a discount. But they have an English-speaking hotline where you can actually call in English and reserve a car and pick everything up, and everything is done in English. And they have special tickets for the back of the car that say you're a tourist. And I always like to put that on there, even if I'm not a tourist, because people are just friendlier to you. They actually wave sometimes, like they know you're not from around here, so they might be a little bit more careful, knowing that you might be lost. So I don't think that holiday. The only thing I'd be concerned about is that things might be sold out or busy, because during the holidays, a lot of people are traveling domestically at that time, and things like rental cars. I would make sure you book at least a minimum of 1 week in advance for any rental car on the weekends and for holidays, especially if you're looking for a particular car. They often don't have what I'm looking for if I'm booking a day before. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the Toyota Mark X from your recommendation from years ago, but I don't think they have them anymore.
They still have them at some of the places, but I can't. That was years ago. I would recommend the. I call it the Rise, Raize. Some people call it Race. I don't know. It's weird. It looks like Rise to me. So the Toyota Rise, which is a small SUV, it gets pretty good gas mileage, better than the Mark X. You're above ground, which is nice, and it's a super comfortable ride. It fits me, Leo, and all of our luggage in Kanai, and we love that car. It's a little bit more. I think it's a couple thousand yen more than a Prius. No, I think it's online is almost the same as the Prius, but the gas mileage is not too bad. I think it's 20 kilometers to a liter, which is really good, I think. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the navigation systems, the the Navi on there is usually better than in the cheaper cars. So upgrading a little bit, you seem to get a lot more out of the car experience driving wise. But the Toyota Aqua is not a bad ride either. I kind of like, that's Kanai's favorite car to rent.
Actually, how easy is it to gas up at a gas station without knowing too much Japanese?
Most of the gas stations, some of them are self-serve and some of them are full serve. The full serve ones are very easy. The first thing you have to know is make sure you remember which side of the car is the gas tank is on. That's kind of really helpful because if you pull up, you might not understand when he's telling you you're on the wrong side. Usually on the dashboard, wherever the gas light is, that's the side that it is on, to tell you if how much gas you have. I'm not sure though. I always check before I rent the car. On the rise, it's usually on the left side. You almost don't have to say much at all. I usually use my credit card. When the guy comes around, I say mantan, manten, mantan, and mantan means fill it up, means full tank. And he goes, okay. And he'll take your credit card, he'll swipe it and return your card. They fill up your tank, and then he'll bring the receipt for you to sign. And that's it. You can go on your way. While they're doing it, they always clean the windows. Always. They clean the mirrors, the windows, the car. It's like full service 1950 style, which I love. There are some self-service places. It'll say Serufusab, and you probably learn that really quickly as you're driving around. And in those cases, you have to get out of the car and use your credit card and pay at the pump. You can use cash as well, I believe. But it's almost self-explanatory on how to do it. But if you don't, there's always a staff member there who will come out and do it for you if you get lost. Almost always. That's been my experience. Yeah.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Do you have any follow-up questions or?
I guess what to do in Gunma other than I'd like to hear from you.
Sure. Okay.
And maybe give chance for other people to ask questions too. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I'll address Gunma right now. So John Michael, thank you. It's nice to see you again. Have you been to Niigata, Japan? I'm going there on December 2nd and 3rd. I'll be doing some live streams in a very northern area of Niigata. Hopefully there's some snow. So that'll be here on Only in Japan Go. 2nd and 3rd of December, I'll be there. So there you go. WRX Turbo is in the house. And Fernando writes in here, do you know if Tokyo Station offers overnight luggage storage for big bags leaving early in Osaka next day and don't need it for one night? I believe there is a left luggage place within Tokyo Station. Let me do a Tokyo Station live stream this week and address some of the questions because I'm getting a lot of that. I don't know if it's moved or not, but I believe that there's a left luggage place near the Nihonbashi side of Tokyo Station on the Yaisu Nihonbashi exit of Tokyo Station. I think there's a left luggage place. There's some pretty massive luggage lockers there as well. But let me look into that, and I'll do a live stream this week at Tokyo Station and try to put that all together because I kind of want to know how things have changed. Now that tourism is back, they didn't have a need for that. So they might have gone out of business or closed. So I think they're restarting a lot of the tourist infrastructure. There also should be a left luggage place by the highway bus terminal, which is also on the Yaisu side of Tokyo Station. So I believe so, but let me go back and find out. That's a great question. Then to talk about Gunma, what's there to do? Yeah, when I think of Gunma, my first impression is hiking. All right. I mean, the outdoors and hiking, it's just such a beautiful place. There's got a ton of mountains there. Gunma also has some skiing. So it's a place where you can do some of that. Maebashi is the capital of Gunma, and I always enjoyed walking around there. It's a pretty big city for a regional prefecture. So I always thought that Maebashi, if there was a prefectural city I could live in, Maebashi is a very livable place. It's got a lot of restaurants. It's very clean and very well organized, and they've done a good job of renovating the downtown area. It's a lot better than. It's almost better than Utsunomiya, which is the Tochigi's prefectural capital. I don't know. It's that's a tough one. Gunma's claim to fame for me, and the reason why I go there is for hiking and for onsen. Minakami Onsen is Takaragawa Onsen. Minakami is the station, is so nice, especially in the winter. And it used to be really hard to get a reservation to stay there, but you definitely want to do it at least 3 months in advance if you can. But sometimes you can find a place with a month before. But it's very popular because it's popular with foreign tourists, and I might have something to do with that because I did a video on there, and then it exploded. Yeah, thanks a lot. A lot of Thai tourists go there, so they have, I believe they had Thai-speaking staff there, and it's really promoted in Thai travel literature. But Takaragawa Onsen, it is beautiful. They have an outdoor bath along the river, and it snows, and the bath is one of the most peaceful and beautiful baths in the snow. And usually from around December 20th, I can't say for sure, but December 20th, it starts to have snow. But in January, February, March, there's snow there. November is just too early. You got the autumn colors, but I'd say like December 20th, you're probably safe. It doesn't matter. Autumn foliage or snow. It is so beautiful outside to be naked in the bath there. And yeah, you got to be naked. And it's a co-ed bath, by the way. So you can hold your towel in front of your privates. If you're a woman, there's an actual brown gown that you can wear so you don't expose yourself. And you don't have to wear it. But in Japan, nudity is, we're all born naked and it's not a big deal so much. Just different culture. So I usually will go, out there and I just put my towel in front of here and there are women around. Like it's not my problem. So no one's got cameras and things like that. Although I did, but with permission from management. Gotta ask about that before you take pictures. That's all I know about Gunma. I hope that's helpful. I also walked across it, or I rode my bicycle across it, going from Pacific to the Sea of Japan, and it's just such a beautiful place. And driving is wonderful too. Takasaki is also an interesting city as well. That might be bigger than Maebashi, I'm not sure. But that's where the Daruma Bento is, and there's a lot of history in Takasaki City. Rivel, this is our last question here, and I'll go into the live chat and answer some of them as well. Thanks, guys, for the super chats. Appreciate it. What can I do for you today?
Hi, John. I'm former military here, so my itinerary is going to take me to Yokota Air Base for my lodging initially after I get there in a week's time. And I bought the 7-day Japan Railway ticket, so I'll be going up north to Tohoku to visit Hachinohe. And then I'll be running back down south to Osaka to check out the new Nintendo World.
Oh, right. Wow.
And in between, I've got 2 nights at 2 different Disney hotels, so I'm doing both parks.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a pretty good itinerary. So
it's kind of revenge because I haven't been back since 2019.
All right. Revenge tourism is back, baby. Yeah. Interesting.
And I did want to highlight one little aspect of my transportation is that I would like to encourage people to start to use the buses.
Right.
In addition to the usual orange and white limousine service, I'm taking the KQ bus from Haneda to Tachikawa to pick up the Ome line, and then I'll hook up with the Fusa station for Yokota Air Base.
That's the best way to go. The bus system is something that a lot of people don't try at the airports, but can be way more convenient depending on where you're staying and your final destination for the day is, right?
Yes, typically they will fan out from the airports and they will terminate at a railroad station that's in the neighborhood that you need to get to.
And if you have a lot of luggage, that's way better than going through the city of Tokyo and catching the train at Shinjuku Station, which is really not great for rolling bags.
Yes, absolutely. KQ Bus has an extensive network, and they run roughly every hour or less that I've seen on their schedule at a decent price, really, like $13 or less.
Yeah, it's very reasonably priced, and I think it's really easy to. I think it's good to research, make sure you know which bus you're taking before you arrive. But upon arrival, it'll take you about 5 minutes. There's an information center; they'll point you in the right direction. There's a vending machine to get the ticket in advance, and the queue to get on the bus is always very well run. There's somebody there in the queue to ask you where you're going. They put a color seal on your luggage so it doesn't get lost, to make sure that it goes on the right bus. I've never had an issue taking the bus, and in fact, it's always been a little bit more comfortable than taking the trains because you don't have to roll the bags on and off. From the airport, it's just so easy to get onto a bus the way that they set it up than going down into the basement to get the trains. I think the bus is way more comfortable. If you've got a family, it might even pay to get a taxi, but the bus systems, in terms of convenience, but the bus systems, again, it's very environmental friendly, and it's very well run, I always thought. This is, you're a repeater, so this is you've been to Japan before. Where's a place in the country that you think people should visit that they don't know about?
Well, you know what? You've talked a lot about Tohoku, and I was one stationed at Misawa Air Base in the region, and there are lots of places you can fan out and see culture on very inexpensively, and everybody's very friendly up there.
The air base is up in Aomori, right?
It's near Aomori, but Misawa City is its actual location.
In Aomori Prefecture, though, is what I'm saying.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it's way up there in the top of Tohoku.
Right, and it's a whole different vibe. Of course, the time I'm going next week, it's going to start to snow, but that's okay. I'm good with that. They have lots of little temples and shrines you can visit, and if you don't mind the drive, you can go over to Hirosaki and see Hirosaki Castle.
Oh, and that's a definite must, especially in the springtime. And every time I go, and I try to go to Hirosaki for cherry blossoms, which is at the end of April, which is a month after Tokyo up there. About a month after Tokyo, it starts to bloom. So when people ask me, what's the best time to go for the cherry blossoms? I say, if you're thinking about coming in March, Tokyo, and if you're thinking about coming in April, Hirosaki. It is the best experience ever. And every time I go, you'll see people that are foreigners and you think they're tourists. They're not. They're from the base. And they're so friendly,
Yeah.
too.
Hirosaki also puts on a very nice winter festival, too, with their own sculptures.
Hirosaki is one of those places in Tohoku. It's like you have to add that on your itinerary. In the fall as well, it's famous for the apples, which is on the manhole covers. So you're going to have amazing apple pie that might compete with the best that America has to offer, because the apples in Japan are just absolutely amazing. Going to an apple farm and picking your own right now is something like, I wish I had the time to go and do that. I think I'm going to miss the apple season just by a couple of weeks. But yeah.
John, if there's one more thing I can piggyback on about car rental,
Sure.
Like you've said, take a car and rent out in the outer areas. Tokyo is only for the brave or experienced like myself who've lived there. But everyone who wants to rent a car should get an international driver's permit from the AAA of their local area. That's what they for visiting tourists, they expect that.
Yeah, you have to have an international driver's license. There are some countries where that might not be the case. It depends on the treaties that they have. I think Korea might be a country. If you have a Korean driver's license, that might suffice for Japan. But in general, I would anyways get a international driver's license that's been translated your license into Japanese. I think it's like $10. When I first came back to Japan in 2003, I had an international driver's license and I drove on that illegally. Residents of Japan are only allowed to drive on the international driver's license their first year in Japan. If you're a resident and you're renewed and you're in your second year, you have to get a Japanese driver's license. You can't use international driver's license. But if you're coming in as a tourist, international driver's license, it's just so fun to have that option, especially if you're renting the car outside of the city and you're a little bit, let's say you're a little bit nervous about driving in Japan. If you're going to Sapporo from the airport, that rental spot is so countryside. It's like there's no cars around. This is a great place to get used to drive. But if you're picking it up outside of Tokyo Station, it's a mess. You're going to really be stressed out picking it inside of a city. But if you've never driven in Japan before, but you get used to it after about 15 minutes. In fact, Sonthi, who's a Patreon supporter of mine, has been emailing me. He's renting a car from Hiroshima and driving it to Shikoku, to Kochi, I think right now. And he said after he'd rented a car before, and he said after about 15 minutes, he just got used to it. It's not too different to be driving on the other side of the road. just some things to think
You
about.
just gotta watch making those left turns into the right lane.
Left turns in the right lane. If you start thinking about it or riding a bicycle around a little bit before, that helps to get used to it a little bit. But yeah, that's the only thing that scared me. But that's a good experience driving a car in the countryside because you see so much more of Japan that way than you can't on a train, which is just limited to the tracks. Cars can go all over the place. And Japan is a car culture. It's a train culture, of course, but it's also very much a car culture. We have a Honda, Mitsubishi, Toyota. Think about all the car companies. Nissan here based in Tokyo. Japanese love their cars. And the roads are some of the best to drive on in the world. Yeah.
Well, John, thanks so much for entertaining me. If I have one last request of you when you do a programming, would you cover a mom and pop hobby store?
I'm actually going back up to see my friend in Noboribetsu to cover his toy museum, and he has a mom and pop toy store. But I think more mom and pop shops out in the countryside would be great. They've been just hesitant because of the pandemic. We're just not quite out of it where people feel comfortable, especially if they're older, and it's hard. They want the business, but they're afraid of giving access to do stuff like this yet. So I'm guessing by the spring of 2023, Japan will be like maskless and going. I just did a tweet on this. It's like, I don't know. People are still kind of afraid once tourism opened up, but trust me, as soon as 2023 hits, things are gonna change. I'm gonna even force it if I have to because it's like enough is enough with this. But people are because tourism just opened and it's like thrown at a lot of localities right now, just suddenly happened. There's a little bit of hesitancy, but I will be doing a lot of mom and pop shops and getting back into that for sure once the start of the year comes because they need the most help, I think, of all of the places.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, John, and shout outs to Peso over there.
He's here.
Yeah, we talk another channel, so it's good to see him.
Nice to you too.
All right, guys.
Alrighty, take care, John.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in and talking.
Cheers, Janet.
Yeah, we're live. We're taking questions on the Discord server. And I'm gonna try to do this once a week. So if you're watching this in playback, it would be great for you to join us and to talk about your itinerary. Every time we do one of these, I want to introduce you to a new area in Japan that might be something that's off of the beaten path, so you can get something valuable out of it. And this time, the Hachiman Gujo, the Gujo Hachiman area and the Mino area and Gifu Prefecture, certainly places that don't get enough of attention, but probably should. Thanks so much. Thanks, moderators. We have Hello Hi 821 Peso and UFO Bob. Do you guys want to add anything before we sign off here?
Probably just on the rental car situation. I just hope my license, my country's license, gets accepted by Japan in the coming years.
Right. Do you have an Indonesian license?
Yeah, I do. I am getting an Australian license in the next few months. I just have to do the test. So hopefully that will bypass the whole BS. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of crappy. It's like this treaty signed decades ago, and it really needs to change that, especially considering Indonesia has the world's youngest population and one of an economy that's just going to get stronger and stronger. We're going to need more visitors from our neighbors. So hopefully they change this up real fast. Do not underestimate Indonesia, anybody. It is, every time I go there, people are just so young and ambitious. And I in the next 15, 20 years, I can't not see that country just growing, and we'll see more Indonesian travelers, India as well, around the world. Maybe even less Chinese travelers and more Indonesian and Indian travelers. I don't know the way that the balance of the economies it's gonna look in 20 years, but I just can't see Indonesia staying, not growing over the next 20 years. Thanks so much. Thanks guys so much for hanging out with me this afternoon, and I hope this is really helpful to you. Again, I'm not doing these travel updates anymore because it's not necessary. But it's really important to keep in touch and address what the next need is to finding the next spot in Japan that could make your trip even better. And I'm just so humbled meeting people in the streets that are telling me how useful that this is. So that encourages me to keep it up. 1 hour. That's pretty good. Thanks, Peso. Thanks, UFO Bob. Thanks, Hello Hi 821 for everything. And we're Hello Hi 821. We're making some changes to the Discord server. We're about 16,000 strong. Melanie, I didn't eat your snacks. Thank you for sending me UK snacks. I appreciate that. That's been keeping us Thai sweet chicken chips. Wow, that's been keeping us energized here behind the scenes, Kanai and I. And thank you, everybody. Again, I'm going to be doing a Patreon Q&A this week. So if you're a Patreon supporter, we'll have a smaller group of people. And tomorrow we'll be back, probably another street walk and video release. Early access tonight for those who are looking forward to a main channel episode finally. That'll be available to you this evening. See you, everybody. Have a good day. Good night. Yeah, it's a good night, depending on where you are in the world.